If they opened up a business like one foolish person did in Canada, and he decided to invest a bunch of people's money into the #1 pornography company in the world. And he says he used to be a rabbi. He says he used to be a rabbi. Perhaps in Gehinom there's rabbis, maybe he was one of them. Or he's going to be one of them soon. But he decided to invest and buy this company. Now this guy, after he dies, his punishment will never end. Why? Because such an entity, the sins never end. The sins never end. Because even if the company shuts down, whoever made a sin as a result of his product and it ruined his life, there's no way that he can go to heaven and the other people are in Gehinom. The same concept on the other end. When the Navi Shmuel was called to come back to this world by Shaul HaMelech, he went to an inappropriate source to bring back the dead. He went to witchcraft because he needed Shmuel to come back. Shmuel died. He needed to know to go to war, not to go to war, what to do. Shmuel, when he came, the Torah says Shmuel came with Moshe Rabbeinu. Why did Shmuel come with Moshe Rabbeinu? Because Shmuel knew that he's already finished this world. He's in Gan Eden. If they're calling me, this may be Yom Adin HaGadol, the final judgment day. And I'm too scared of that day. Even though I'm in Gan Eden right now, I'm too scared of that day. That's a different punishment. So I'm bringing Moshe Rabbeinu with me. He can vouch for me. I followed the Torah. Moshe Rabbeinu can vouch for me. He didn't know he's going to see Shaul. So the point being is that there's layers of reward, there's layers of chas v'shalom, the punishment. So if you see or hear things that are different, don't think it's contradictory, just know that there's multiple levels. In gate number 22, the Arizal says, one who is intimate with a married woman, that's not his wife. If it was at the time of the Sanhedrin, it would be strangulation, death penalty of strangulation. But since there's no death penalty of strangulation today, what happens? Hashem punishes him in a different way. One of the ways that he's reincarnated into a grinding stone. A grinding stone in which wheat is placed and is ground by water and rotates the millstone. Some people reincarnate animals. So anyone that you see in that list of the Epstein list, don't be angry at them. You're wasting your effort, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu will punish them a lot worse than you can be angry. So at the very least, spend your time and energy being happy, serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu, learning more Torah, helping people, stop becoming pedophiles and disgusting people. Those people, you can't help them. Why you can't help them? Rabbi Nachman Breslev wrote in Likutei Ma'aran Tanina that there are leaders of shekel, leaders of lies, that are put into the world, especially the generation before Mashiach, that have such arrogance that they feel the need and desire to influence the world to become more immoral. Their arrogance brings them to a position where they feel that they need to influence people to become more immoral, meaning the stuff that you see in the world. Like the grooming that they do with little kids, and Disney, how it became a little center for pedophilia. You know, all of these different things. This is already in the Torah. Rabbi Natan, the Talmid of Rabbi Nachman, says, people that have fell and committed adultery or wasted seed or made different types of sins, you can usually help them. But it's almost impossible if they fell from the arrogance to the immorality, and the immorality made them addicted to money. If they're just addicted to immorality, usually you can help them easily. But if they're addicted to money and immorality, it's almost impossible to break that klipa. Usually you would think it's the opposite. Oh, you're addicted to money, that's easier. No. Once he's addicted to immorality and money, he's in a position of power, it's almost impossible to change. So rather than be upset of all the disgusting people that are constantly mentioned on the news, don't be. What you should be is try to see if chas v'shalom you know somebody else that fits the description. Some people that reincarnate into animals are as follows. Someone who is an arrogant person can reincarnate into a bee. Others can reincarnate into water, where there's a malach habala, a destructive angel that oversees that person, that neshama that's in water, and it wants to come out of the water, but he keeps it staying in the water. Rabbi Shmuel, the Maharshu, brings some chidushim that he adds to the Sha'ar Gilgulim, and he says that he found this in the book by Rav Eliezer HaLevi, alav shalom, and he says that one that has relations with an animal reincarnates as a bat. One who has relations with a menstruant woman reincarnates as a female Gentile. Meaning he lived as a Jew, Jewish man, he now reincarnates as a female non-Jew. His tikkun will be to convert. One who has relations with a married woman reincarnates as a male donkey. Has to get beat up by a stick all of his life, get tied to a tree. And he knows he's a human though. He doesn't think he's a donkey. He suffers the agony of the stench that the animals have. Imagine, sometimes we take our kids or we bring some animals to the house. It's fun for them. Play with goats, go feed some cows. It's cute. But one of the things that every normal human being notices, unless you work on a farm, is that the stench of animals is not exactly pleasing. You don't want to eat there. Imagine you sleep in that. Imagine a person sleeping in that 24 hours a day. That's what happens to a person who reincarnates as a donkey. One who has relations with his mother reincarnates as a female donkey. A male who has relations with another male, LGBTQ, reincarnates as a bunny or a rabbit. What's the difference? Why a bunny or a rabbit? Why just not a bunny? Why not a rabbit? Depending upon the sin, whether he has been active or passive in the relations. Every detail of Rabotai Karim is already written hundreds and hundreds of years ago. Nothing new under the sun. One who has relations with his daughter-in-law reincarnates as a female mule. One who has relations with a female non-Jew reincarnates as a Jewish prostitute. As I mentioned before, you're used to hearing reincarnates as a dog. Now you heard a Jewish prostitute. Why? Because he has multiple tikkunim. One tikkun is to be a dog. One tikkun is to be a Jewish prostitute. Why? You acted with promiscuity, will reincarnate you as something that's constantly promiscuous. Dogs obviously have no manners when it comes to their relations. They're known as a cursed animal. Even though they love their owner, they're still not a pure animal. And I don't have to explain the other. One who has relations with a stepmother reincarnates as a camel. With his sister-in-law reincarnates as a male mule. Stepsister to his father or his mother reincarnates as a stork, whose companions will kill it. Not only is he a stork, but he has to be a stork that the rest of the storks kill it. And he gives you verses for each one of these, not just like he just comes up with different things. For that one, for example, it's Vayikra, chapter 20, verse 17. Lastly, as an example, one who constantly looks at women. Up to now, most normal people say, that's not me. Psst, I'm not going to be a mule. It's great for me. Not me. I'm not going to be a bee. I'm not going to be a donkey. I'm not going to be a camel. Up till now, every average guy is saying to himself, this is horrible. For him, for him, for him, for him. Not me. Why? I'm not doing all these horrible, horrendous things. Some people that are watching out there online maybe say, oh, that's not so good. I don't want to be a camel. I don't want to be a camel. But this one applies to everybody almost. At some point or another, if they don't pay attention to their eyes. One who constantly looks at women, forbidden to him. Needless to say, women that look at men that are forbidden to her. All of this, by the way, applies to the opposite. Don't just think this is only a lecture for men. One who constantly looks at women that are forbidden to him, glancing at them, will reincarnate as a white vulture who can see farther than the other birds. Why a vulture? Why not a chicken? Why not a bunny? Why not a camel like the other guys will have some bunny friends and camel friends? No. He has to be a vulture. Why? Because the vulture has eyes, can see a lot of things. You like to look, now you're going to use your eyes for those things. But all of this, says the Shah Gilgulim, is only if he did not do tshuva. All of this applies to someone who simply ignored tshuva and lived his life like a mule. But if he did tshuva, if she did tshuva, if she covered her hair, if she covered her body, if he covers his body, if he acts like a normal, decent human being, and not like one of the people on the list, then he has nothing to worry about. But that's not necessarily complete.